Good morning, everyone. In today's topic, I would like to discuss you regarding Japanese encephalitis. So, coming to the topic, Japanese encephalitis, it is a mosquito-borne disease. It is a mosquito-borne disease, and encephalitis means inflammation of the brain layers, and it is mainly caused by the group of virus which are known as B. arbovirus. These are caused by the B. arbovirus, and these are transmitted to the humans through the culicin mosquitoes. These are transmitted to the humans through the culicin mosquitoes. Coming to this Japanese encephalitis, it is a zoonotic disease. It is a zoonotic disease, and 25 years ago, this Japanese encephalitis, it was known to be as an endemic, and it had occurred in the countries such as East Asia and especially in the Japan, China and Korea. And if you take the India, there are outbreaks, but they are in a considerable magnitude. And you can see vast majority of the cases are occurring in the children who are less than 15 years of age. Mainly these are occurring in the children who are less than 15 years of age. So in India, the first case was seen in the state Tamil Nadu in the year 1955. So in India, the first recognition of this Japanese encephalitis was made in the state Tamil Nadu in the year 1955. Coming to the epidemiological features, it has several extra human hosts. Means other than the humans, it is having other hosts such as animals and birds. So I'll say you clearly in the life cycle so that you can understand. So basic cycles of this Japanese encephalitis are mainly occurring in two hosts. First one is from mosquito to pig, and the second one is and the other type is in the bird and mosquito. Mainly it is occurring between the pig and mosquito, and in the same way it is occurring between the mosquito and the bird. So here the disease is mainly transmitted to men from the infected mosquitoes. Mainly the disease is being transmitted to men from the infected mosquitoes. And if you see here, man is an incidental dead end host. Once the infection is entered into the man, from man there is no chance of spreading to another person. The virus can spread from the pig or the bird to the mosquito. From mosquito it can again affect the animal or bird, but or the human. But if an infected mosquito is coming and infected human being, if a mosquito is coming and biting an infected human being, and again if that mosquito is biting another human being, there is no chance of spreading, because there are low titers of the virus in the human compared to the birds and pigs, which is not sufficient for the mosquito to cause infection to the other person when it is biting the infected person. The only way of getting the infection is mosquito which is biting the infected pig. If that mosquito is coming and biting an healthy human, then only the disease is being transmitted. Okay, I'll say you clearly in the life cycle. So just we'll move on to the topic. Here the disease is transmitted to men by an infected mosquitoes. And coming to the animal hosts, pigs are the major vertebrate host for this Japanese encephalitis. You can see more number of cases in the pigs, and you can see here pigs are considered as the amplifiers of the disease. Why? Because the organism Japanese encephalitis, it can grow in higher titers in the blood of pigs compared to the human beings or any other animals. That's what the pigs are considered here as an amplifiers of the disease. You can see here they develop in very high titers of the virus in their blood. In which blood? Pigs, in pig blood. And cattle and buffaloes also can get affected with this disease, Japanese encephalitis. And if you see the bird species, so what are the bird species here? Pond herons and cattle egrets and ducks are involved in the natural history of Japanese encephalitis. Mainly pond herons, cattle egrets and ducks are involved in the natural history of this Japanese encephalitis. So coming to the mosquito vectors here, mainly two types of mosquito vectors are being involved here. So culicin mosquitoes, these are the major ones, and the other ones which are involving are Anopheles mosquitoes, and the other ones are Anopheles mosquitoes. So these are acting as a vectors which are crucially involved in the transmission of disease from animal to human being and human being to animal. So female mosquitoes, they are getting infected after they are feeding the viremic host. So it will take about 9 to 12 days for the incubation period in the mosquito to develop, so that whenever the mosquito is going and sucking the blood of an infected pig, it will take about 9 to 12 days for that organism which has entered the mosquito to develop and infect the other persons. So once this incubation period is done, whenever the infected mosquito is coming and biting a healthy individual, then the mosquito is capable of transmitting the infection and the person is automatically getting infected there. So it is mostly a rural disease. Where the damp areas are present. You can see why I am saying rural areas means mainly the breeding spots for these culicin mosquitoes or Anopheles mosquitoes are the unfavorable conditions are in rice paddy fields where the water is in stagnant state, and the pools. In the pools, rivers, and where the water had been stagnant, and deep wallow shells. All these are the favorable condition for the mosquito to breed. So whenever there is large number of mosquito vectors, they are capable of infecting the persons. Whenever one mosquito is being affected, or the mosquitoes are going and sucking the blood of an infected pig, ultimately if they come and bite the healthy human being, they are transmitting the disease from one person, means from the cattle to the healthy individual. So it is considered as a seasonal disease, as epidemics, and it coincides with the monsoons and post monsoon season. So during the monsoons and post monsoon seasons, why during the monsoons there is huge amount of rainfall. So whenever there is huge amount of rainfall, the water will become stagnant. So stagnant water is providing favorable conditions for the organism to grow, means the female mosquitoes to breed. So whenever there is more number of increase in the mosquitoes, so these mosquitoes are capable of infecting the vectors, pigs, and they are capable of infecting the human being. So ultimately the disease is being transmitted. So how the disease is being transmitted means, so after the infected mosquito is coming and biting a healthy individual, after 5 to 16 days you can observe the signs and symptoms. So here the virus invades the central nervous system and causes the disease mainly after 5 to 16 days. You can consider it as an incubation period in man. So whenever this 5 to 16 days is completed, the organism which has entered into the body is directly entering into the central nervous system, and it is causing the disease. So although infection in humans is incidental, this virus it can cause serious neurologic disease, and it can cause high mortality and high morbidity. Why means, you can see here this Japanese encephalitis. What is this encephalitis means? It is inflammation of brain layers, inflammation of brain layers. So what is this? Brains are made up of neurons and nervous system. So it is mainly affecting the central nervous system, which is leading to the neurological disease. So once the neurological disease is there, you can observe more number of morbidity and more number of mortality, in this case Japanese encephalitis. And coming to the infection during the pregnancy, if it is occurring during the pregnancy, so if the pregnant mother is of 6 months of age, if the gestational age is about 6 months, then there are more chances for the miscarriage or death of the infection of the fetus. That's what it is very dangerous during the pregnancy. And this Japanese encephalitis do not spread from child to child. This Japanese encephalitis, it cannot spread from child to child or from cattle to humans. Why? Because more the pigs and the water animals such as ducks, water animal, water birds such as ducks, these animals are having high titers of the disease. Means these animals are having the more number of organisms which are capable of infecting the human beings compared to the cattle or the child. So that's what it does not spread from child to child or from cattle to human beings, because they are having low and transient viremia. So if you see here, just a second, see, pigs are the major vertebrate host for this Japanese encephalitis, and pigs are considered as amplifiers of the virus as they develop very high titers in the virus, high titers of the virus in their blood. So even though cattle and buffaloes and human beings are getting affected here, you can observe the high titers of virus in the pig's blood only. So whenever a mosquito is going and sucking the blood of the pig, that blood is capable of transmitting the infection compared to the humans or other animals such as cattle. Okay. So this is regarding the transmission. So I will explain you clearly here in the transmission cycle. You can see here, this is an uninfected mosquito. This is an uninfected mosquito. Whenever this uninfected mosquito is going and biting the infected pig or infected duck, whenever this uninfected mosquito is going and biting the infected pig and infected pig and infected duck, such as water birds or pigs which are infected by Japanese encephalitis virus. So this mosquito is an uninfected mosquito. It came and it bite on the pig or a duck which is having this Japanese encephalitis virus. So now this mosquito is becoming here as an infected mosquito. This mosquito is becoming here as an infected mosquito. So this infected mosquito, it is coming and biting the normal individual. It is coming and biting the normal individual. So this normal individual, whenever this mosquito is coming and biting him, the mosquito is transmitting the virus to the human. The mosquito is transmitting the virus to the human. Once this mosquito is transmitting the virus to the human being here is becoming infected. He is becoming infected. You can observe the signs and symptoms after 5 to 16 days. You can observe signs and symptoms after 5 to 16 days. So this infected mosquito, again, it will go and bite the vectors. What are the vector? It will go and bite the host. So pigs and ducks. The infected mosquito reintroduce the virus into the vertebrates. Again, whenever a non-infected mosquito is coming and biting them, it is getting infected. Again, this infected mosquito is coming and biting the healthy human. He is being infected. Again, this infected mosquito is going and biting the pigs. You can observe one thing here. The disease is not being transmitted from the human to the human. It is not being transmitted from human to human. It is not being transmitted. It is being transmitted from mosquito to human and from mosquito to pig. So it is being transmitted from mosquito to human and mosquito to pig. I'll show you 1 second. So coming to the topic here, this is an uninfected mosquito. It had come and bitten the infected pig. So it got infected here. So mosquito is playing a crucial role here. The mosquito is playing a crucial role here. This mosquito is infected mosquito is going and biting the infected healthy individual, and it is biting the other animal. So whenever it is going and sucking the blood of an infected animal, this mosquito is responsible for the transmission of infection to humans, and this mosquito is also responsible for transmission of infection to the animals. So likewise, the chain is being rotated, and the human alone cannot transmit the infection to the other humans. Okay, have you got this point? So we'll move on to the next topic. So coming to the Japanese encephalitis in men. So here the incubation varies between 5 to 15 days. The incubation varies between 5 to 15 days, and it is not that every individual who got exposure to this disease, who got bitten by the infected mosquito, to develop this Japanese encephalitis. It is not like if that infected mosquito is coming and biting a healthy individual, he should definitely land up in the Japanese encephalitis. It is not like that. So the ratio of this Bower disease is inapparent infection, and it varies 1 in 300 to 1 in 1000. 1 in 300 to 1. And this Japanese encephalitis cases due to Japanese encephalitis shows scattered distribution. Encephalitis cases are due to it is showing mainly the scattered distribution. The incidence of this Japanese encephalitis disease is never an indication of the risk at which the population is living in Japanese encephalitis endemic areas because of the apparent infections. So coming to the men, we have 3 stages here. The first stage is prodromal stage, and second stage first stage, this one is second stage, and this one is third stage. So first stage is prodromal stage. In prodromal stage, you can observe symptoms such as fever, headache and malaise. You can observe symptoms such as fever, headache and malaise, and this stage usually lasts for 1 to 6 days. The stage is usually lasting for 1 to 6 days. If you come to the acute encephalitis stage, so once the prodromal stage was done, then the person is entering into acute encephalitis stage. So in this acute encephalitis stage, the fever is present, and it is usually of 38 to 40.7 degree Celsius. So in acute encephalitis stage, these are the symptoms that you can observe. Fever you can observe, nuchal rigidity you can observe, focal CNS signs you can observe, you can even see the convulsions and altered sensorium, and you can see the patient progressing to coma in many cases. So these are the signs and symptoms that you can observe in the acute encephalitis stage. So coming to the last stage, so this third stage, it is also known as late stage or sequelae. You can know it as a late stage or sequelae. So in this stage, you can find out neurologic signs, and then they become stationary or they tend to improve. So why in the acute encephalitis stage, you can find the signs and symptoms which are related to central nervous system. That's what you can observe in late stage also, neurological signs. So in this stage, they may improve or they may get worsen also, and convulsions may be prolonged, and residual neurological defects may be not uncommon, and the average period between the onset of illness and death is about 9 days. So if any person is entering into the Japanese encephalitis infection after these 3 stages, means within 9 days of infection, within 9 days of appearance of symptoms, there are more chances for the person to enter into the death or to get death. So how you can diagnose this disease means you can detect IgM, you can detect specific IgM antibodies in the cerebrospinal fluid or in the blood cultures within the 7 days of onset of this illness. You can identify IgM antibodies. Where you can identify, since it is a neurological disease, you can identify it in the cerebrospinal fluid, and also you can identify it in the blood cultures, and rarely in very rare conditions you can identify them in the tissue cultures also. So whenever you are doing an autopsy, you can find the organism in the blood and cerebrospinal fluid in an encephalitic brain. So how you can control this Japanese encephalitis? So how to control this disease, Japanese encephalitis? First of all, if you want to control, what is the factor which is favoring the transmission of disease? Mainly the Culicin mosquito, and anaphylaxis mosquito. What are these two? These are vectors. These are acting as a vectors. So if you are able to control these vectors, then ultimately you can control the disease. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to control the vectors. Fogging with ultra low volume insecticides. You have to do the following things: fogging with ultra low volume insecticides, indoor residual spray, and spraying should cover the vegetations which are present around the house, because these vegetations, example rice paddy fields, example rice, paddy fields, and whatever the plants which you are cultivating around your home, if that if around the house if there is water stagnation, these are the favorable conditions for this Culisine mosquito or Anaphylaxis mosquito to grow, to breed there. So the more number of mosquitoes, the more number of chances for the disease to occur. And villages which were infected with this disease should be kept under surveillance. So this is regarding the vector control. Second one is vaccination. So what is this vaccination means? So population who are at risk, they should receive the Japanese encephalitis vaccination. And this Japanese encephalitis vaccine, it is a safe vaccine, and it is very effective in children in preventing the disease in endemic areas and as well as in the normal public also. So how you are giving means, for 3 years children, the children who are of below 3 years, 0.5 ml you are giving, and you are giving in 2 doses. That's what you can see. 0.5 ml for children under the age of 3 years, and it is given subcutaneously at intervals of 4 weeks. 2 doses are given. Mainly 2 doses are given, and the child which is from the age group of 3 to 15 years, these children, they are receiving 1 ml of this Japanese encephalitis vaccine, which is given subcutaneously in 4 weeks interval. Means if they within 4 weeks 2 doses must be given to the patient. Within 4 weeks the 2 doses are being administered to the patient. And a booster injection, it is of 1 ml. It is given after 1 year of the vaccination. It is given as a after 1 year of the vaccination. So this is regarding vaccination, and this is regarding vector control. So moving further, so the persons who are traveling to the endemic areas, these persons should receive the vaccine. And they are receiving the vaccine in 3 doses on the day 0, on day 7, on day 28. These persons are receiving the vaccine. And next one is isolation of the pigs. And it is very essential, because pigs, as I said in the earlier slides, pigs are the major animals which are having high titers of this virus, Japanese encephalitis, and these are the ones which will harbor the virus in them. And the disease is mainly spreading from pigs to mosquitoes, and from mosquitoes to men as well as the other animals. Next one is water management practice of paddy cultivation. So at least 1 dry day should be kept every week, so that whenever the total water from the rice field is removed, the breeding of the mosquitoes will stop, so that we can control the disease. And you have to use certain fertilizers to control the mosquito population. And the other thing which we have to see is, you have to maintain the distance between the pigs and human habitants. So the pig should be kept around 5 kilometers away from the human habitation. So this is regarding Japanese encephalitis and its causes and the treatment pattern which is available. So if you have any queries regarding the topic, you can contact me through my email and through my WhatsApp. Thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Please like, share and subscribe. You can share these videos to your friends also. Thank you so much.